Hello, I'm Sudarshana Starshine Star, and I hope this is all finding you very well indeed, because despite the great shaking that's happening all over the earth realm that we can see, it really is important for us to do our best, and some days are better than others, but to do our best to kind of keep ourselves on a more even keel, not to roller coaster so severely up and down, because the great cleansing of the earth realm is going on, and the purification of ourselves is going on, and it can be pretty rough, but it's very worthy. However, everything is a reflection in the micro-macro, so we can't have peace on what we term as the outside if we're in great turmoil and great roller coastering dramatically inside of ourselves. We have to get ourselves more under control and on an even keel, and just to do our best. And some days are better than others, I know. I like to begin all of my clips with the 3 opening prayers, which are in Sanskrit and Telugu, and they are short. They're the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. And this is to bless, uplift, protect, and inspire you, me, and this clip. Om, 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chatupujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignu Prashantaye Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I don't think I said the date. It is a beautiful Saturday, May 10th, 2025. This is from Reuters, dated May 10th, 6:28 p.m. UTC. It is written by Gilbran Nayar, Peshamam, Shivam Patel, Charlotte Greenfield, and Aftab Ahmed. Explosions reported after India and Pakistan agree to ceasefire. Summary: India and Pakistan agree to immediate ceasefire. Violations reported within hours in India, Kashmir. Trump announces breakthrough after 4 days of military strikes. Civilian death toll rises to 66 after latest fighting. Yeah, do you notice that number, 66? Mark that. Senior military officers to speak again on May 12th. Nuclear-armed neighbors India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire on Saturday after U.S. pressure and diplomacy, but within hours blasts were reported from the main cities of Indian Kashmir, the center of 4 days of fighting. Blasts were heard in Srinagar and Jammu, and projectiles and flashes were seen in the night sky over Jammu, similar to the events of the previous evening, according to authorities, residents, and Reuters witnesses. Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said Pakistan had violated the understanding arrived at by the two countries earlier in the day. We call upon Pakistan to take appropriate steps to address these violations and deal with the situation with seriousness and responsibility, Misri told a media briefing. Pakistan's Information Minister Ataullah Tarar told broadcaster Geo News, as of now, there have not been any ceasefire violations. Pakistan's military spokesperson did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The fighting had been the worst between the old South Asian enemies in nearly 3 decades and threatened to erupt into a full-scale war in one of the world's most volatile and densely populated regions. There were briefly fears that nuclear arsenals might come into play, as Pakistan's military said a top body overseeing its nuclear weapons would meet. But the defense minister said no such meeting was scheduled. Hours after a night of heavy fighting in which the two countries targeted each other's military bases, and the combined civilian death toll rose to 66. Again, that number. Mark that number. 66? Yeah, thank you. Pakistan and India have agreed to a ceasefire in immediate effect. Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar posted on X. Pakistan has always strived for peace and security in the region without compromising on its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Misri had earlier said the two countries' military operations chiefs had spoken to each other and agreed that all fighting would stop at 5 p.m. Indian time, 11:30 GMT, without using the word, quote, ceasefire, end quote. U.S. President Donald Trump posted, after a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. On Wednesday, India had attacked what it said was a terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan, Kashmir, and Pakistan. 2 weeks after 26 people were unalived in an attack on Hindu tourists in Indian Kashmir. Pakistan denied India's accusations that it was involved in the attack. Days of cross-border fire, shelling, and drone and missile attacks followed. Despite the truce, two Indian government sources told Reuters that the punitive measures announced by India and reciprocated by Pakistan, such as trade suspension and visa cancellations, would remain in place for now. The sources also said the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty, a critical water-sharing pact that India suspended after the Kashmir attack, would remain in abeyance. The Indian Foreign Minister did not respond to a request for comment. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that he and Vice President J.D. Vance had engaged with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Pakistan's Shehbaz Sharif, Indian Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar, Pakistan's Army Chief Asim Munir, and the two national security advisors over the course of 48 hours, talks to follow at neutral venue. In a post on X, Rubio commended Modi and Sharif on the agreement, which he said included not only an immediate ceasefire, but also the start of talks on a broad set of issues at a neutral site. News of the ceasefire was greeted with relief on both sides of the border, and Pakistan's airports authority said its airspace had been fully reopened. But the subsequent violations sparked alarm in India. What the hell just happened to the ceasefire? Explosions heard across Srinagar. Omar Abdullah, Chief Minister of Indian Kashmir, posted on X, "This is no ceasefire. The air defense units in the middle of Srinagar just opened up." India and Pakistan have been locked in a dispute over Kashmir ever since they were both at the end, in a dispute over Kashmir ever since they were born at the end of British colonial rule in 1947. Hindu-majority India and Muslim Pakistan both rule part of Kashmir but claim it in full. They have gone to war 3 times, including twice over Kashmir, alongside numerous smaller outbreaks of fighting. India blames Pakistan for an insurgency in its part of Kashmir that began in 1989 and has killed tens of thousands. It also blames Pakistani Islamist militant groups for attacks elsewhere in India. Pakistan rejects both charges. It says it only provides moral, political, and diplomatic support to Kashmiri separatists. All right, that's the end of the article. Gosh, I really am hoping for permanent peace between India and Kashmir. Why I said a few times to note that number 66. I always ask of these things like cui bono in Latin, that means like who benefits. It was so sus that all of a sudden, supposedly a group of, not supposedly, they were Indian tourists visiting in the Indian part of Kashmir were suddenly separated out, the men put to one side, the women, children to one side, and the men unalived. Those were the Indian tourists that were unalived in that incident that sparked this whole thing off a few weeks ago. Always ask cui bono, who benefits? I mean, this is just, And they keep repeating that number of who's been unalived, 66, 66. It's so sus. And, you know, it's just, who is stirring the pot here? Who benefits from India and Pakistan having this huge problem again? That's the question. Who is really stirring the pot here? God bless all of them. Let's hope for peace. Fingers crossed. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you're on my YouTube channel, it's The Dazzling of the Light at Sudarshana Starshine Star. Why not join my channel? It's pretty good. It has, I'm closing in on 200 clips there. They're all pretty juicy. I think you'd be interested in that. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself. So thank you so much. I end all of my clips with the closing prayer in Sanskrit and Telugu. What I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Please. God bless you and yours. I'm sending much love and big hugs to you and yours. I'll see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.